You should put dad joke of the week with it.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to episode number 31 of Skins in the Game. We're bringing it back for the first time in a long time since before Thanksgiving last year. So it's been nearly a year since Dad has been back on the channel. How you doing today, Dad?
I'm here. I'm alive, and that's always a good thing.
And we had a lot less subscribers then, but Dad was definitely on the channel. You can go back watch the first 30 episodes of Skins in the Game. Don't suggest it, but you can go do it if you wanted to. They're there. And his name's John, or you can see JW on the screen. And yeah, so how's everything going? And I know you just moved to Florida. How's everything going down there?
Still trying to get settled in. I have my office set up finally, so as you can see, we're just getting settled in, but there's like 1,000 different details, and just trying to keep my head above water. But
A
no, we're
newly
liking it so
retired
far.
man.
Yep.
Yep. So he's old geezer now. That should be your name on the screen right there. Old geezer.
Well, do you have the power to change it?
You do. You do. No, just kidding. But yeah, no, that's funny. Spoiled Nate from Gaming's here. What's up, bro? He says, you're goated. Bro, I miss this. Welcome to the South. Do you remember Spoiled? You may have. He was the one, I don't remember if you remember when we were talking about Drew Brees, and you were talking about, you don't know how he sees over the lineman, and he goes, because we draft short linemen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he's the resident Saints fan.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, so he's been fun, and he's been through the thick and thin. Saints Spoiled was one of the original goats. And then Chris, of course, wanted to bring this back. So thanks, Chris, to pushing the buttons of getting this back together. And so my dad informed me that he has a little calendar of dad jokes that give him a new dad joke every day. So he's going to give us the best one every week. And that's how we're going to start every show. So what is the dad joke of the week?
You realize this might change or chase people away, but I don't know if you could say it's the best one, but it's the least worst. The dad joke is, I told my wife it was her turn to shovel the front steps. All I got was icy stairs.
I don't even know if I get it.
Stairs.
All you got is
Stair.
oh,
Shovel the
icy
front
stairs.
icy stairs.
Okay, and she stared at you, and now you have there's the pun.
Yeah,
See,
shovel the front
the
steps.
pun.
I got
Yeah,
icy stairs. Yeah, okay.
it needed to be explained, and that's the worst part about it. But I'm gonna be that cringy every start of the show. So if you like this kind of stuff, make sure you're back here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. What up, Pat? Patrick Hanlon is here. What up, Red Wings? How's it going? Rocking the Rigo jersey, yes sir. He's had that jersey for years now. He loves that one. It's a great jersey. Tim, this is nice. Wonder if your dad knows more about football than you do. That's almost for certain because I know nothing. And yeah, we're gonna have some fun.
He knows a lot of stuff. It's just all wrong. Well,
Yeah, I never claimed to be a correct sports analysis. What is this? This is called Skins in the Game. This was our original show on this channel when we made it. Me and my dad basically started it. I made one episode by myself when I did the draft breakdown, but after that, it was pretty much me and Dad once a week and going through the different sports topics. And now we're just going to base it more on Washington. That's why we called it Skins in the Game, because we have a ton of skin in the game. And it was Redskins at the time, but now it's nice just to keep it alive. Keeping it alive. Yep, that's right. We're not Redskins country here.
yes.
Hey, there you go. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and hop into this thing. Your thoughts on this, since this is the first time back, thoughts on the season so far. Of course, we're a 2-4 record. The defense is not quite what we expected, but overall, what do you think about this team right now?
Well, unfortunately, I think we're lucky to be 2-4. Um, I, you know, and I'm a classic homer every spring. As Doc Walker always said, we're the champion of the off season, and I always think we're going to do something this year. And once again, reality sets in, and we're just not good. And I'm mostly surprised, or most surprised about the defense and
As
how
most of
much
us
they've
are, yeah.
regressed. But I really don't have a lot of positive things to say. Hey, they were ahead 13-10 at halftime, and apparently the team decided to take the rest of the game off. But um, they got four. Was it four turnovers? I think it was.
Three.
Oh, I'm sorry, three. They said
Yeah.
four total in the game, but yeah, I mean they got three turnovers. You're not going to beat Kansas City with field goals, but it's just they're lackluster. I don't want to talk about the future games yet, but so far, I'm not impressed.
Yep, we'll definitely get into all of that. Before we get into the game, it was Sean Taylor Day at the stadium. They retired the number 21 jersey. And how did you? I know you don't go to games anymore because you just went to Florida, obviously. My dad, you or still, are you still a season ticket holder? Do you still pay for the
Yeah,
tickets?
and I plan on going to the Monday night game. I'll be back for Thanksgiving, so I'll go to the Monday night game and try to fit in some other ones. But yeah, it's right now I have not been to any games yet.
Is Tampa Bay at home this year? Tampa Bay's at home, aren't they? So you can't go to the Bucks game down there.
I thought the last time they played Tampa Bay, it was in Tampa Bay, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, the last time we played Tampa was in Tampa because didn't Gene and Gary go? Like a few of them went down there to see.
Yeah. So yeah,
Don and Linda.
yeah. I will not be at the game here, but yeah, it should be here this time. Or I say
Man,
here. I mean,
you got to get used to that.
you
You gotta get
understand.
used to that.
I say we when I'm talking to the Redskins, so here to me is on the Redskins side. So just
Yep.
bear with me.
Sounds good. Yeah, you lived in Maryland his entire life, so this is the 2 months outside of the state. So
Yep.
pretty much. So cool. But anyway, so what do you think about the Sean Taylor jersey retirement overall?
I liked it. I didn't see the whole thing, but I thought it was appropriate. It's a shame what happened to him, and I like the respect they're giving him. He was a great player. I would have liked to see him play his career out, and it's hard to believe that he would have probably been done his career. I'm trying to remember what year that was. I'm sorry, but
He was drafted in 04.
yeah, so he would be
And
done
then
in
07 when he passed. Yep.
most likely we'd be talking about a long, great career, and it was just sad. And I thought that showed great respect. I wanted to, and maybe you know this. I didn't see the whole thing, and I heard about Mahomes' brother dancing on the 21, and I got the impression like he was kind of doing it out of, I'll say, ignorance. Like he wasn't doing it to be disrespectful, but did you see that, and what
Yeah,
exactly
my
caused
only
him to
thing
dance?
is, and I don't follow him on TikTok, so I don't know. Apparently, he has a signature dance, and that's what he did, was his signature dance. So you could take it how you want. Most people took it as a disrespect. He went out on Twitter and he said he didn't mean to be disrespectful, and apparently he was told to stand there. I don't know by who or what, but it was chained off. So he was somehow allowed inside the chain
Yeah, I'd heard that
of the
too.
situation. So I guess somebody allowed him inside the chain. But my thing is that and I as I said, I watched it for the first time, never knowing his dance. I don't know if he does the L every time, but he finished it off with like an L, and to me that felt like disrespectful as all get out. Like we gave you
Loser.
an L on Sean Taylor. Yeah, we gave you an L on Sean Taylor Day, and then dancing on Sean Taylor's number. Like to me, that felt like he was trying to be disrespectful. But I don't know. You could. It's up to you. Do you want to take him at his word or not? Of apparently he wasn't trying to be. That wasn't his goal. So I don't know. Take it.
Yeah,
Take it.
it was an unfortunate decision one way or the other. I mean, to say, oh well, they told me to stand here, and I heard it was roped off, but yeah, they told me to stand here, so I thought it was a good idea to do a dance when we're giving a tribute to someone who's passed away.
Yeah, and everybody
Maybe
around the
just
league loves him. Like it's not even like this is like just a Maryland guy that like sorry, a Redskins guy that like the Cowboys would feel as though they would want to disrespect or something like that because, like, you know, the rivalry and things like that. Like, even if it was a game during the Cowboys, most of the Cowboys, if not all the Cowboys, would have great respect for Sean Taylor. Like, the
Right.
man he was, the player he was, the unfortunate circumstances of his death, like, everybody, like, he inspired almost an entire generation of safeties
Yep.
just from that short 3.5 years.
And also, and loved him. Thought he was a great player. I don't think he would survive the league today. I
Oh,
think.
because they would penalize him
Oh, he would
out
be
of the
kicked.
league.
He'd be kicked out of every game and probably suspended with the hits that, which I thought was football. But nowadays it would be like he would be the most dirty player in the world and would be kicked out of every game. It's just my opinion. So
He hit some people hard. There's no doubt about it. Hit some
even
people
in the
hard.
Pro Bowl.
Yeah, death. Yeah. I just want to like throw this out there because you clearly are not, which is fine. It's probably a good thing. Is not in the Twitter sphere and everything, and not following it to the jersey retirement. Because I'll say this: the first time I heard about the jersey retirement, I was like, good, about time. Like that's what they should have done. Like I love that they're retiring this guy's jersey. We've been clamoring for it forever.
Right.
Of retiring the number 21. You don't let people wear the number 21 anyway. Like you didn't even let a big free agency signing that you did, the highest paid safety in the game at the time, Landon Collins, wear the jersey. So who are you going to let wear the jersey eventually, right? Like it doesn't make sense of why not retire it. But then when you start like looking into it and you're just like, this is just so gross. Like the emails came out about the whole Bruce Allen situation, like no fans are in the stands. Have you seen the number of fans in the stands? Have you seen the numbers on that?
I'm sorry, say that the numbers on white?
Fans in the stands?
It didn't look good to me. I did not see the numbers.
Yeah, we are at 62% fans, like of a percentage of the stadium filled. The next closest was 78%. I believe it was. I think it was 16% higher. And that was the Saints, who one of their home games was in Florida. So they had like a 35,000 fans, like, you know, show up because they're 12 hours away from home stadium. And they still, on average, have more fans in the stands than us. And I just felt like it was just a dirty way of using Sean Taylor's legacy to try to get people back in the stands. And that's why it was just thrown together last minute. Nobody really cared. It was 3 days before the game that it was announced. They had the family in there a few weeks beforehand, like 7 weeks or something like that. They had only 10,000 towels made for an 80,000 person stadium. So only the first 10,000 people that arrived got a towel. It was just a mosh pasta thing. And then did you see the picture of where Sean Taylor Road is and where they had the family pose?
I did not. Oh, in front of the outhouses?
Yeah, in front of the porta pots.
I did see a picture of that. It's like,
I really like. Can I get a backdrop? Like, even if you don't want to move the porta johns, can you like just? There's portable backdrops. Can we set up something behind the sign?
Put a virtual backdrop in there or something.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's hilarious. Like somebody on Twitter put what do you call it? Put a beach in the background. He goes, I can't let this stay. Like, I gotta put him somewhere nice. And they like just put a fake beach behind him on the thing. But yeah, it's just unbelievable. Yeah, that's what he wouldn't survive the league. No, the league wouldn't survive him. That's a good way to put it for sure. Mahomes' family was told to stand there. Yeah, that's what they're saying is Mahomes' family was told to stand there. I don't know. But I thought it should have been rescheduled for first home game of next year and do this right, allow fans to come in from all over the place. As I said, he inspired so many. Like, I thought that should have been the play instead of trying to force it down our throats in a bad media week and make it look like you're just trying to use him to basically be a distraction with all the other crap that's being thrown around this organization. So it's pretty gross when you start looking into like everything that's going down. But overall, I'm appreciative they did it. I understand why the family didn't want to reschedule it because I was like, why would you want to come back? What once you
But
can
it's
come
such
back
a
to the
great,
stadium?
but it's such a great stadium, Tim. What are you talking about? I think it's the best stadium in the league.
Yeah, we're literally ranked 32. We're literally ranked 32. Like somebody did like a video, some big YouTuber of like ranking the 32 stadiums, and we were dead last. So anyway, why would they stand inside a roped area? Oh, wait, yeah, I don't understand that either. Like, why is that where they were told? I don't know. It's weird. Do you think
Or
they would
maybe they just
play
said
a
that
limited
after the
one just
fact
for
to try
sure?
to cover, to cover for Mahomes' brother. Then maybe they said that trying to, I don't know, I'm guessing. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense that you would rope off an area and then tell a bunch of people to stand in the roped off area. But
I 1,000%. I don't understand it either. And why is Patrick Mahomes' brother so special to get in there? He's done nothing. He's literally just a family member of the best player on the planet. Why is he? He probably never even watched Sean Taylor play. Like he is worthless probably. Like why is he even? Why is he worthy of being there?
I'll be perfectly honest with you. It was the first time I'd ever heard that Patrick Mahomes had a brother.
Well, there was one story when they lost to the Ravens that a Ravens fan was heckling him and he poured water on him.
Oh, I heard that.
Yeah.
Because from the box he was sitting in, right?
Yeah, so
Like
yeah, there was a whole thing in there. He's a TikToker. He's just a meme. I 1,000% agree.
Agreed.
He was with Pat Mahomes' girlfriend. Okay, what does Pat Mahomes' girlfriend have to do with Sean Taylor? Like, why are they? Who are these people that they should be allowed to inside the ring of where? I don't know. Redskins Vintage says his dad has that same jersey. Well, there you go. We have something in common on that. That's pretty cool.
This one he's talking about?
Yep. Well, Redskins Van 10 has like something like crazy, like 75 jerseys or 80 jerseys or something. Like he has a crazy collection of Redskins jerseys and Redskins paraphernalia, and he's been a fan for. He's also like a Redskins historian. He knows like he has all the encyclopedias and knows all the facts and stuff like that.
Well, he'll keep us straight.
Yeah.
He'll keep us straight then, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, he corrects me all the time. I love to have him. It's a good thing. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and hop into this Chiefs game debacle. And overall, if you in ways, the defense actually played better than they have. And because you think about, they only held them to 10 points in the first half. They got some turnovers, but they clearly still have problems.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
First and foremost, we could get into this right now. Tackling. I mean, we looked like
Horrible.
we're freshmen in high school that didn't know how to form tackle whatsoever. I mean, it was abysmal. And then I know you said you heard some comments from Ron Rivera. What do you got on that? What do you think about those things? They didn't practice because of.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was on the tackling, and then you said, yeah, he was.
Well, I figure that all ties in together because if you're not practicing,
well,
maybe a thing.
Few different things that I heard that I found bothersome. Let's just say that. One, he said that his message of discipline is not being received well, so he's got to change his message. This is 6 games into the season, and this is your second year coaching. You haven't gotten that message. I mean, discipline, okay, but
Yeah.
the fact that he said that one of his biggest concerns is they have not been able to practice well because they don't have enough healthy players, and they have to do like last Wednesday they didn't even put pads on because they didn't have enough healthy players that could run through plays. And I thought, I don't recall, and again, I don't follow all of this stuff that closely, but I don't recall that many Redskins being injured to the point that they can't practice. And
that's why you have an extended practice squad too. I mean, with Corona, they added more spots on the practice squad. Like, how do you not have bodies to? I mean, there was an extended amount of injuries as far as like it was concerning. Like going in of like, okay, are we gonna have a lot of people play? You think like Deron Payne, I think, was questionable. You had Cole Holcomb questionable. Benjamin St. Juice, I know, was still had a little bit of problem, I think. Like, there was some questionable guys on defense that, were big pieces of the defense. But I agree with you. I didn't think there was so many injuries on this team that we are incapable of running a legit practice.
Well, and the other thing I'd like to add to that is, okay, good practices or not, why don't guys understand that you wrap your arms around somebody when you go to tackle them? I saw several times where the guys would just hit the receiver or the running back, just throw their arms into him, and the receiver bounces back and runs the ball another 10 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't care what kind of practices you have at this level, you should understand how to tackling somebody should be an innate quality in your brain. You should not have to be reminded every week. By the way, when the guy catches the ball or gets the ball handed off to him, you tackle him. So I didn't really
As
understand
Chris
the
just said, you
correlation.
shouldn't have to teach a 5-6 year vet how to tackle.
Yeah,
It's
it's
I
like
completely
arms
agree.
out, wrap your arms. It was just mind-boggling.
Yeah, here's a great point. Yeah, Baltimore Ravens are 5-1 right now, and they have a ton of backups. I mean, they're one of the most injured teams in the league, and you don't see these crazy inability to tackle a player. Like their running backs are playing well, and they're on their like 7th running back on the season in week 6. I mean, it's insane the amount of running backs that have already. I mean, Latavius Murray I hear is now question mark. Of course, J.K. I mean, the whole list of crazy running backs they've already been through, and I don't understand the inability to tackle. And I completely agree with you on we can't practice.
Right. I was going to add that,
Yeah.
and I don't like the Ravens. That's fine, but
Yeah.
it was a number of years ago. I'm sorry, I don't remember which year, but the Ravens lost a game, and the two cornerbacks played a terrible game, and they were fired that day.
They were fired.
Harbaugh released both cornerbacks that day and said their play is unacceptable. We're going to find some other guys, and they basically fired the two starting cornerbacks. Said nope. You played like that. We don't want you anymore. And it's like, and then the next week, I mean, they have a winning season every year. So it was a great point.
Yeah. I don't understand it. And I know that you, mentioned this before the show. And so the lack of the blitz, I don't know if we understand how to, what it means to blitz or what, but you go ahead and go into how do you
I
feel
asked you before the game. Do the Redskins even know how to spell blitz at this point? Me and your uncle, my brother-in-law, have had conversations with us where the last couple games we have made a point of trying to count how many times the Redskins blitz.
Yeah.
And to your point, particularly on 3rd and long.
Yes.
And I'm not saying I haven't seen any, but I doubt I could fill up. Certainly in the game against Kansas, Kansas City, I don't recall. I couldn't even begin to fill up one hand. It's just,
and especially even when we do blitz, it's only 5. Like we see the people like the Ravens we've talked about, like the other great deep, like the Pittsburgh Steelers that always have a solid defense, or the Patriots or something. Like in certain scenarios, they all of a sudden will send 6-7 guys.
Yep.
And just all of a sudden swarm the quarterback, and if they don't get rid of the ball immediately and somebody went off the line, then they're screwed. And we apparently have, quote unquote, a man-to-man corner in William Jackson that we brought in. Kendall Fuller's supposed to be good in coverage. He's trash right now. But we have Cameron Kroll's been great covering whatever tight end has been in the game. So the inability to just stop a player for give me 2 seconds to give me a 7-man blitz and get to the quarterback immediately is we don't ever do it.
No, and when you blitz that many people, you have to have press coverage, and I don't see press coverage at all. There's at least 5 yards most time, a lot more than that, where it's 3rd and 10, and you got the defender standing 12 yards behind the guy. I swear, it's ridiculous. And if you're going to blitz,
a play in the Atlanta game. Yeah, I highlighted a play in the Atlanta game. I thought this was unforgivable almost of how bad of a play call. It was 3rd and 3. They're literally standing 7 to 8 yards off the ball. And I'm not talking about one corner. I'm talking about every corner.
Yeah.
And then off hike, everyone went backwards on 3rd and 3. And he had 4 guys pass the sticks open on hitches. 4.
Right.
He just picked his poison. Why not just hit the one right in front of me? But what do you say about that?
Right. I have to blame. Look, I have to blame it on coaching.
Yep.
Because either one way or the other, either the guys are totally inept, they have no idea what they're doing, and they can't follow direction, which means the people that drafted them are idiots, or they know what they're doing, but the coaches are telling them to do something else. So either way you look at it, it's the coaching, right? Mm-hmm. They either brought in the wrong players, or they can't coach the players, or they don't trust the players to. I never see. Well, never's. I don't ever like ultimatums, but mm-hmm. I rarely see press coverage where there's a guy on a wide out right in his face that's hitting him off the line. And maybe you see. I have not seen that. And if you're going to have a defense, then you add to the fact that they leave that much time, and then you're not getting any pressure on the quarterback, and the quarterback's got 5, 6, 7 seconds to throw, then that's a recipe for disaster, because you're not covering them close and you're giving the quarterback forever.
They said politically correct Redskin says Dad is on fire. You're killing it right now.
Oh, thank you. It's my cocktail.
I love how Tim and others are finally pushing my way. No, it's players' fault. Chase Young only has 1 sack this season. What is his coach doing? Yeah, it's definitely not just on the players. It's 100% on the coaching. And it took you 6 games. I know Chris and I talked about this during the play-by-play. It took you 6 games to figure out that Landon Collins needs to be in the box. Landon Collins, and it's not a secret he can't cover. That's what's so frustrating to me. This was his. I want to make a video on this later. I'm going to try to find the scouting report when he was coming out of college. But I'm pretty sure in that scouting report was the inability to cover. This is not some secret, all of a sudden he can't. It's not like William Jackson. William Jackson is a guy that was supposed to be able to cover. His mantra was, I'm a man-to-man corner, right? And he's getting beat right now. That's surprising. And it's okay, you can't put that on the coach, because that's what I brought him here for. I know he's played man-to-man in the past. I know he's done well at man-to-man. All right, maybe now you got to make some adjustments. But, the fact that William Jackson, your best corner, is getting beat, I don't necessarily blame super much on coaching. I mean, you could probably find little things that he's doing, maybe not lined up in the right spot or this, that, whatever. I don't know. But the point is all right, that's surprising. Landon Collins' inability to cover is not surprising.
It's well documented.
Yeah, it's not a shock to anybody. And the fact that it took you 6 games for Ron Rivera to finally say, yeah, he plays better when he's up near the line of scrimmage.
The light went on, apparently on a short circuit.
Do you need to see my video from back in May? April? When I said Landon Collins should be moved to linebacker? I mean, you needed 5 games, 5.5 games before you realized that? We knew that going in. That was the whole thing. Landon was literally asked, are you going to move to linebacker? Everybody thought that he should be moved to linebacker, except for some reason, Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio. That's insane. That's just mind-boggling. But right. And then I know you had some thoughts on the number 2 overall pick.
Well,
Chase Young.
And I heard this, and I'm sorry I cannot remember the player. It was a guy that was
Michael Strahan.
I don't think it was Strahan. Maybe it was. I'm sorry, but he basically said that he was critiquing Chase Young, and he said that he's got one move. He's got the sweep move. That's all he does. The sweep move. offensive linemen know he's going to do the sweep move, and they just push him whichever way he goes. They just push him that way. And again, I go back to coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chase Young is you look at him, he's a freak of nature. He's strong, he's
Mm-hmm.
smart, he's powerful. There needs to be someone in there that's showing him this is the techniques you can use. When they do X, you do Y. If they do Y, you do X. It's like that's how you teach them. And there's no one there that again, I think what I saw this last game was Chase Young trying other things and he was getting beat on misdirection. Like he was playing way over aggressive. And again, offensive linemen know that. Let him think he's beating me this way. And you know, if I want him to go to the left, let him beat me to the left. If I want him to go to the right, let him beat me to the right. And they're burning him, and he's not intimidating anybody. And again, he's either not as smart as I think he is, or not as athletic as I think he is, which I don't believe either one of those, or he doesn't have a line coach showing him this is how you use your God-given talents to basically destroy line. And then you add to the fact that Payne and Allen, and the other guy's name is completely
Montez Sweat.
Montez Sweat. Thank you. None of them. I mean, it's like suddenly did they all forget how to rush?
Dude, I brought this up before. Reason I've been looking over here is I've been looking up this guy's name because for some reason I can never remember it. Sam Mills III is our defensive line coach that needs to be fired effective immediately. You have the dream of any position coach. Most position coaches are just, can I get one first-round pick?
Yeah.
You know, maybe I have one. Can I just get another one? That would help my room so much. He has 4 first-round picks. And you can't get your defensive line doing their job? It's almost like he got hired and he's like, all right, I'm just going to milk this till I retire. I don't have to coach. I have 4 first-round picks. Go do your job.
Right.
Do it.
And what's mind-boggling to me is they seem to do it, and certainly they did it a lot more last year. What happened?
I don't know.
It's mind-boggling. I will say this, that if you told me this last summer that the biggest problem on the Redskins was going to be their defensive line, I would have said you're crazy. But it seems to me that it's the most, let me just say this, the most disappointing of what the potential there is. So
yep.
I just saw the guys.
Been the worst. I wouldn't say they've been the worst part of our defense, but it's definitely, it's not what we expected.
It's the biggest disappointment.
Yeah, 100%.
And I just saw that, somebody said 0 sacks for Sweat, but he said no, he has 3 sacks. But Chase Young through 6 games has 2 sacks. 2.
Yeah.
And I think, and actually, the one he got against Kansas City might have even technically been a half sack because there was 2 other guys there. Right. They could have very easily only given him a half a sack. I think they gave him the whole sack. Mm-hmm. But when you have somebody like that with the interior that you have with the other 3 guys, to your point, and this guy can't get to the quarterback, and I'm sorry, but he seems lost out there. It's mind-boggling to me. And again, it goes back to either he wasn't the player everybody thought he was going to be, which again, I don't believe, or he's got a coach that is not taking him aside and saying, Chase, you got so much ability. Let's work on different things you can do because you can wear these guys out. But again, where's Payne and where's Sweat and
Jonathan Allen.
Thank you, Allen. Yeah. I can't remember all 4 in the same thought. So,
well, you know what? There was in their defense because overall I do agree with a lot of what you're saying, especially on the Chase Young point. I do agree, but I do want to just chime in just with a little bit of a defense. I know after week 3 or 4, I haven't kept up with the stat, so I don't know maybe if we're falling off. But at one point, like after week 3 or week 4, we were second in pressures, not sacks. but second in pressures on the quarterback. So a big problem of our defensive line is the ball is out unbelievably fast.
Oh, San Diego did that the first game. They had
Yeah,
the guy didn't hold on to the ball for 2 seconds. I don't think
exactly.
ever.
Yeah, it was. I actually went through and timed a bunch of them. Yeah, it was like 75% of the time the ball's out in 2 seconds, and then when they held it for longer, they did max protection, like tight ends to help chip or running backs to help chip or whatever. Like it wasn't just 5 on R4. You know what I mean? But at one point in the game or in the season, we were second in pressures, but watching the games, you wouldn't feel that way. Like you just wouldn't have that feeling at all. And I definitely agree with everything. I just wanted to make sure that was out there, that because it's like I love Duran. Duran, I think against the Saints had 11 pressures in one game.
Right.
11. That's a lot in one game, and it's just Jameis just would have time, or he would be able to just escape because he's the only one getting pressure. But there was a moment on the sideline, I don't remember if it was this week or last week now, I'm struggling to remember, where apparently there's a recording. I haven't seen it yet, but Jonathan Allen said, let me get after it. Almost like pleading to Jack Del Rio, almost like he's being told something that he, like, don't get after it. Or for some reason.
Okay, which goes totally against what Del Rio said initially. Was his motto or his mantra was that you cover the run on the way to the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he said that? It's like we're rushing the quarterback. Yeah, we're rushing the quarterback on every play, and you cover the run on the way.
Thank you so much for the super chat, John McDowell. Good show, guys, he says. And thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I just wanted to give you a shout out. Thank you again. I know you've super chatted in the past, and thank you so much for coming back. Sorry to interrupt your thought. Go ahead.
No, hey, you got to do what you got to do. It's no words. But yeah, I mean, I remember I loved when he said that. It's like, in other words, he's saying you can cover the run on the way to the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, like I said, I think Chase Young has gotten single-minded, and which he gets burned by misdirection.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that's a great mantra. You cover your lane, look for the run, but your whole idea is I'm getting to the quarterback in my lane.
Mm-hmm.
And Chase Young, and I hate to pick on him, love the guy to death. I think he's got.
I was
great
just about to
potential.
say the exact same thing. I'm glad you said it first. Yeah, I completely agree that he seems like a guy that'd be, or looks to me like a guy that everything about him says he should be the face of your franchise.
Yep.
Great personality, great dude. So I'm glad you mentioned that. But go ahead, keep going.
But no, I was just going to say, but he doesn't contain. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't play quarterback. I didn't play football at any higher level than city football.
Mm-hmm.
And I played defensive end for a while, and the 90-pound and under league and 110-pound. So I'm not trying to compare this other than when I played defensive end, my defensive coach told me one thing. He goes, you don't let anything outside of you.
Mm-hmm.
Your idea is to contain and push everything up. And I remember there was a few times where I would literally run out and stand in that, like, if I saw the guy run inside me, I thought it was a success. And it's like somebody else is going to tackle him.
Mm-hmm.
But Chase Young gets beat all the time by diving in. He takes that move. The offensive lineman lets him think, oh, I beat him to the inside. He takes those 2 steps as he's seeing the guy run around where he's supposed to be. And it's, again, coaches got to tell him that. Don't, anyway.
Yep.
It's
I hear you. Let's go ahead and let's get away from the defense. The defense definitely is frustrating.
We've picked on them enough, right?
Yeah, for now. We'll be back next week, and I'm sure we're going to be in the same boat because Aaron Rodgers is to come to town, but we'll talk about that soon, too. I wanted to get your thoughts on how are you feeling right now about Heineke? Are you liking him still, or would you rather take a chance and see what Kyle Allen has? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't have a problem with Heineke. I think I like the fire in his eyes when he's playing. I like his ability to move. I'm not saying that if they went to Kyle Allen that I'd be like, oh my God, that sucks. Mm-hmm. But I don't know that right now that changing the quarterback is the answer. Like I said, I like his gamesmanship. I know he's 20, what's he, 27, 28? Mm-hmm. But I know he's supposed to be an experienced vet, but he hasn't played in all that many games.
Mm-mm.
And I'm willing to, I feel like we have a chance when he's at quarterback. He makes bad throws. He makes, bad decisions. Sorry, but Patrick Mahomes made a couple bad decisions in this last game, so it happens. But
Yeah,
I don't think, that Heineke's the problem, that it's like, oh, if we brought in a different quarterback, everything would be good. So
yeah.
I don't see it as being.
Heineke's 28.
Oh, he
Thank you,
is
son.
28. Thank you.
Yep.
I knew it was up there,
Yep.
27, 28. Time
Yep.
flies. So- but no, I don't.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like. Um, in fact, I've seen other quarterback when Heineke. If you watch Heineke's expression on his face when he's back there, he has a serious look on his face, and he's got like fire in his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna mention any other quarterbacks because I don't want to make it feel like I'm picking on anybody else. But you've seen other quarterbacks out back there that just don't have. They just almost not maybe scared, but maybe a little bit of a deer in the headlight. Oh, okay. Frog Gang, eyes. Okay. Hey, I'll bet you that Minnesota would trade.
28 is 30 in the NFL.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I bet Minnesota would trade Kirk Cousins for Heineke right now.
Actually, he's playing decent right now.
Well,
Believe it or not.
he's a stats guy, but yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah, but I am honestly, I was excited to kind of see what he had, and that you had like, because you're a fan, you had aspirations. Maybe he could be our Kurt Warner. Maybe he could be our, certain list undrafted, or what, Tony Romo, undrafted quarterback that became really, really good. Like I had hopes for him. Honestly, I'm pretty much done with the Heineke show. Now, saying that, I'm not done in the I want to see Kyle Allen. I don't think that Kyle Allen. I 1000% agree with you when you said I don't think quarterback change is the problem. Only way the quarterback change would really fix it if we went out and got a Deshaun Watson or an Aaron Rodgers or something, like an actual quarterback that can take over a game kind of thing. Like I don't think Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be our savior because Heineke is so bad, right? But my problem with Heineke is you could see that he doesn't have the arm strength that the newer quarterbacks that are coming out have. Like one
yeah,
play, like he
that's
was
true.
rolling to his right and he kind of threw on the run and he didn't get it there. Like he threw severely underthrew De'Ami Brown or whoever it was in there. It's like, and I said during the play-by-play, I was like, that is the difference right there between Patrick Mahomes and Taylor Heineke, because
Right.
both are gamers, both can run the football, both can do some off-scheduled things that get you excited, like the dives for the end zone or the runs for touchdowns or buying time in the pocket and finding open receivers. But what makes the difference between a top-tier guy and an undrafted guy in this situation is he just doesn't have that pure arm strength that the other
Well,
guys like Josh Allen,
I was
Justin
just going to
Herbert,
say
and
that's
yeah,
exactly what I was going to say. In last night's game, Josh Allen is rolling to his right, and he throws the ball across his body 25, 30 yards back into the middle of the field, and it's a bullet and to the guy.
mm-hmm.
The guy's wide open, but it's like, yeah, you're right. Taylor Heineke does not make that throw.
Right,
It
100%.
would have fallen 10 yards short. But yeah, he just throws a rope
Yeah, we
again,
watched the
turning
same
across.
game last night, and Chris was like, Heineke, like if Heineke was there was it wasn't the same play, but Josh Allen like threw just a bomb downfield, and it was almost picked off, and Chris goes, if that was Heineke, that ball would have hung in the air for another 3 seconds because he would have had to have rainbowed it to even get, Josh Allen is putting that thing on a freaking rope 55 yards downfield, just rocketing it down there. Heineke is putting rainbows.
Yeah.
Can
Wind,
I
like
please get it there?
with a 5-second wind up.
Yeah, 3 or 4 steps, right? Like a couple of hop steps. Just praying to get it down
All right,
there.
here you go. Wait. Yeah, you're right. It's
Yeah. So that's my main problem with Heineke, and And like, because you can think of guys that don't have the best arm strength. Like Tom Brady doesn't have the best arm strength, but we're not waiting 10 years for Heineke to know every defense that's ever been played, like Tom Brady's knows.
He's not putting the time in to do it. That's
Well, I mean, he can put the time in to do it, but we're not like Ron Rivera doesn't have 10 years to wait. Nobody has 10 years to wait anymore. Like, you know, Tom Brady was winning Super Bowls early on in his career, not because he was a great quarterback, but because he had a great team around him, which, you know, bought him enough time to then start learning, and he's one of the most hard workers in football. Love Tom Brady. Tom Brady's phenomenal. He's the GOAT. He's the best ever. But it's like why he was able to buy that time, because if you go look at him statistically in his first 5 years, he wasn't some baller quarterback that, you know, throws, like, he's had a 50-yard or 50 touchdown season now. Like, he wasn't even close to that back in the early 2000s. But now you watch him. Yeah, now you watch him, and it's just like he is a surgeon out there. It's actually kind of fun to watch Tampa Bay. He's pretty incredible. It's nothing fancy. It's slight movements in the pocket. It's just
yep.
I'm
it's sensing. Mm-hmm. It's like not looking, but okay, pressure's coming here. Step and a half this way buys me another second. And before we move off of the offense, I wanted to touch on this, and I know I'm going to pick on coaching again, but I have seen enough after the Redskins get a first down. Let's do a play action fake down the middle for 40 yards, and the guy can't make the catch. Then you run it off tackle, second down for a gain of 2, and then you throw a screen pass that gets blown up in the backfield. It ends up 3rd and 13. I've seen that movie 100 times now. It's like, hello, Kyle.
Scott Turner.
Scott Turner, thank you. I want to say Scott.
That was my next question: is how did you feel about Scott Turner? That's hilarious. I'm sure Chris is gonna love that one, and I mean, most people are not big fans of Scott Turner. That's funny, and I hear you, and I'm not gonna sit here and stand for Scott Turner and be like he's some great offensive mind that we can't let go. Like if he goes, he's gonna be the next Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay. I don't know what Kevin O'Connell's doing right now, but I don't think that about Scott Turner at all. The only thing I say about Scott Turner is I don't think he's our biggest problem, right? But I agree that, you know what? If Scott Turner was fired tomorrow, I wouldn't shed a tear. Like, you know,
no, I get what you're saying. In. I don't think there's any. I mean, I think the biggest thing we need to fix is the defense, and then, I mean, if the defense wouldn't have been as inept, I mean, when you score 30 points in a game, mm-hmm. then you should have a pretty good chance of winning. So I think the biggest and the most glaring thing that needs to be fixed is the defense. 100%. Whatever the problem is. 100%. If we fix the defense and the defense was even a shadow of what we hoped they would be, we're probably, I don't know that we're 4-2, but we're not 2-4.
Right. I agree with that 100%. All right. Do we need a new kicker? You had a bunch of stats earlier. Did you run through
this is actually, I found this kind of remarkably surprising because I've said on multiple times when, and maybe it were mostly field goal attempts when Hopkins misses a field goal, but according to NFL.com, the 2021 regular season stats of the Redskins and their opponents, it says that the Redskins are 12 of 14 on field goals. And of course, it also says their opponents are 12 for 12. I find these numbers suspect. I don't, first of all,
wait, did you have something about the PATs?
No.
What was the second stat you said? 12 for 14, and what's the other stat? Did you say 2 stats?
No, it shows the Redskins and their stat and what their opponents have through what I assume is 6 games. So it's saying the Redskins are 12 for 14, and this is NFL.com. The Redskins are 12 for 14 on field goals, and their opponents are 12 for 12. I don't think that's accurate, but I don't think Hopkins. It seems to me I've watched Hopkins miss a lot more than 2 field goals.
Some of them came in preseason. He missed 3 in preseason, so I'm sure that has haunted your mind as well. He also missed the one against the Giants that's not counted at the end of the game. So, but you remember it that he missed. He's also missed 2 PATs at least, maybe 3. 2 PATs, so he's definitely missed some field goals. And I know it feels good to say when you're a Dustin Hopkins supporter, I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying like if somebody's a Dustin Hopkins supporter, hey, he's 12 for 14. That's not bad. But my
Right.
problem is anytime it's over 50, we're scared to send him out.
Yep.
We had a 53-yard field goal attempt on 4th and 10 against the Saints, and we go for it on 4th and 10 because we're afraid that, I mean, he blamed it on the wind, Ron Rivera did, but we can't send you out on a 53-yard field goal attempt in the NFL?
Yeah, that's sad. And that's a good point, too, that
Yeah, it's
maybe
like
he'd be worse off if they sent him out every time they should have.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's 100% that way. Somebody else told me, oh, he's like the top 20 most accurate kicker of all time if you look at the raw percentage of what he is. And it's like, okay, yeah, because he's been sent out for over 50 like never. And even when he is sent out over 50, it's 51. It's
Right.
50. It's 52. His in his career is 56. You know, like it's not like he has a great leg. That's the weird thing, but he's not accurate enough on those deep kicks that we don't feel comfortable sending him out there. Because I remember saying this a long time ago when Jay Gruden first brought him in, and we brought him in because he could kick touchbacks. You remember that, right? Like we got rid of
Yep.
Kai Forbath because Dustin Hopkins could kick touchdowns.
Yeah, he could kick it into the end zone. Right. Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. And I'm like, okay, so clearly we brought him in because he has a strong leg. Why is it when we have a 58-yard field goal, he's never walking out there? Like, I thought this guy has a booming leg, like Justin Tucker or something. Like, and it's like, so I was saying that way back then. I'm like, why are we never sending it? And it's like, now the more and more we're coming out, it's like, oh, he's 50% or under 50% from over 50. You know, like
Yeah.
he's not good when he's over 50 at all. The league average, I think, is 64%, and he's way under that when he's over 50. And it's like he's padding his stats with a bunch of short kicks.
25-yarders, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, there you go. But, I mean, he's missed some shorter ones that are clutch, right? I mean, he missed one last week when we wanted to go up by 6. Right, and he missed one against the Cincinnati Bengals in overtime. He missed one against the Giants in a game we lost by 2.
That was the London game you're talking about, right?
Yep,
When he hit it off
way
the
back
crossbar.
in the day. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like he's missed some kicks that are not that far. It's not like we're sitting him out there for a 61-yarder and hoping and praying that he does his job. You know, like no, it's bad. But I don't know.
So
anyway.
here's some other stats. Just a couple that I'm not going to go through them all, but a couple that I found interesting is. They say the Redskins have 12 sacks and only 6 sacks against them. I find that hard to believe. Is this, you know?
Yeah, we don't have a lot of sacks. Heineke's actually avoided a lot of sacks, and also the offensive line has been like the bright spot on this team. The offensive line has actually played pretty well.
I mean, that's averaging 1 sack a game. That's got to be up near the top for an offensive line. So, and then the other one I found interesting was. We have gone for it on 4th down 10 times.
Jeez. And what are we, like 30%?
6 of 10, they say our opponents are 2 for 4. So we've gone
6 for 10, 60%. Okay.
We've gone 2.5 times as many times as on 4th down that our opponents have this year. I didn't realize that either, but there's nothing else that really jumps out at me that is just, you know, everything else seems to make sense. You know, touchdowns 15 to 22. Mm-hmm. So everything seems to fit. Possession 28 to 31. Mm-hmm. So everything tends to and we're -2 on a turnover ratio. So nothing else jumps out as being okay as a 2-4 team. This seems kind of wild, but anyway, that's all I have on the stats. I don't think anything else is worth really, like I said, is remarkable
enough. All right, before we get into the Packers game, is the season over for the Washington football team?
Well, I can tell you that I heard a stat. Where did I hear this? They actually said this at the beginning of the Kansas City game, that a team that starts 2-4 has a 9% chance making it to the playoffs. So I'll let you be the judge about whether or not, I guess technically it's not over, but I'd say chances are really good.
My problem with our chances is our schedule. Our schedule's insane.
Yeah,
It,
we play
it,
it's
our schedule is absolutely bat crazy.
right.
It's uh, the first place schedule was not kind to us at all. But I mean, even like some things that were, it's not has to do with first place. It's just like the AFC West is who we're playing this year, and they're a whole lot better division all around. The Chiefs, the Chargers, the Broncos are really good. The Raiders are really good. So it's like none of those teams were really good last year. Broncos, I think, were like 6-10, 5-11, or something like that. The Raiders were meh at best, like middle of the road, maybe 8-8. I think they finished, or 7-9, or something like that. But now these teams are really, really good. Then we have the what's the NFC? Oh, we have the Saints division. So we have the Saints, we have the Buccaneers, we have the Panthers, who are looking better this year. I think they're actually fallen off. They might be 3-3 now. I think they've lost their last 3 in a row, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because I think they lost to the
Yeah,
Cowboys, they lost to the Eagles, and then this week they just lost to the Vikings. So I think they actually fall into 3-3 since their 3-0 start.
Wait, I thought the Carolina lost to the Eagles. I thought the Eagles lost to them. Maybe I'm
No, they
getting.
came back and won like in disgusting fashion. They won 21-18. Like
Uh,
the Panthers were leading the whole game,
okay, that's
and
what
then
it
the
was.
Eagles
Yeah.
came back and won. So I think they've lost their last 3. So maybe they won't be as tough. We'll see what they look like when they face us. The Seahawks lost Russell Wilson. That's fortunate, but they played tough against Pittsburgh last night, or Sunday night rather. Like that came down to the wire. But yeah, it's been
Yeah, what happened to Buffalo last night? Come on, man.
yeah. What happened to
This,
Buffalo last night was 2 words: Derrick Henry.
yeah, it's just
Derrick Henry is no joke. The dude's just a massive human being. All right, so on to the Green Bay Packer game. We're so screwed in the secondary. I mean, our secondary can't cover Robinson, whatever his name is, Demarcus Robinson. Why are we going to be able to cover Devontae Adams being thrown from Aaron Rodgers? How do you think this defense is going to fare against the Green Bay Packers?
if they play like they've been playing, it's going to get ugly early. But I'll be honest with you. I thought the same thing with the Kansas City game. But I think Patrick Mahomes had a terrible game for
Mm-hmm.
him, certainly in the first half.
You know what's funny? Terrible game for him. 397 yards.
Yeah, but how many of those were in the second half?
I don't know, but I'm just saying because I agree it wasn't his best game, and yet he finds a way to get 397. It's just fun. I'm just saying it's a funny. It's all relative, right? Like you look at this great, phenomenal player, and it's like, oh man, he had a bad game, and it's like, oh wait, he went 30 for 45 or so. I don't remember. Like he didn't have a terrible completion percentage, and he had 397 yards and 2 touchdowns. Anyway, it was just a funny thing.
No. But
Overall, I
I'll
agree.
bet you. I want to say I would be willing to bet upwards of 250 were in the second half.
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
So I'm just saying that in the first half at halftime for the Redskins to be up 13-10 against Kansas City, I was shocked. I was not convinced that the way they were playing with 2 field goals and a touchdown, that if they'd have been able to get 2 touchdowns and a field goal, and we're up. I mean, they would still figured out a way to screw it up. But I, I think, yeah, on
So you think we
paper,
slowed down Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know. Maybe Aaron Rodgers has a bad first half. I don't know, but I'm going to tell you right now, unless this defense figures out something drastic, I don't care if it's the Packers, I don't care if it's the Chargers, I don't care if it's the Cowboys, I don't care who it is. They're going to slice them up, and we're going to continue to watch the Swiss cheese defense. And I think I'm not saying that if the defense makes it right, that the offense is going to be fine. I think the offense has some issues, but right now, unless the defense figures out their problems, then it doesn't matter what the offense or special teams does. It's just going to be a long day.
Yes or no? Do we see a Kyle Allen sighting in this game?
No.
All right.
I don't think that, and rightfully so, I don't think that Rivera is looking at Heineke as having 15 different opportunities that he blew.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people see it differently, but I don't see him as saying, now, granted, if the defense is playing great and Heineke has three drives where he can't throw the ball and he's throwing it terrible and he's throwing it at people's feet, then sure it could happen. But I don't feel like I've seen Heineke do that, and I don't think that's likely to happen. That
That's
he's
fine.
going to be today.
I was also thinking maybe it's an injury. I don't know. I was curious. Maybe like are you
Oh,
predicting a Kyle Allen situation? Because a lot of people are clamoring for Heineke to get back outside the pocket. Maybe if they start moving him outside the pocket again, all of a sudden
he
that
is
worry that we had, that he all of a sudden gets hurt, and it's like, oh, maybe we should have
he is
kept him inside the
susceptible to
pocket.
injuries.
Yeah, and
Diving for that touchdown against
yeah,
Tampa Bay tore his what was the what's the muscle he tore in his chest or his stomach? I can't remember the muscle,
yeah,
but
I don't remember.
it was a
I
great
remember he
play.
hurt
But
something. Yeah,
he tore something. It was like, okay, so no,
yeah.
that I would say I would say this: if we have a Kyle Allen sighting, it's because
Of injury.
Heineke got an injury, not because of play.
Got it. All right, cool. I want to hear your 5 keys to victory for Washington to win this game.
Okay, defense has got to get more pressure on the quarterback. Defense has to cover the secondary. Defense has to slow Aaron Rodgers down. What else? Um, Defense has to blitz on third and long at least 80% of the time,
Okay, yep.
and the offense has to not lose the game for him.
So mostly you're saying is it's defense related.
That's my feeling on it. Yes.
I hear you. I'll give my keys to victory tomorrow. We're already over an hour, so I don't want to keep you too long, but we'll keep a couple things going here. Dad's score prediction of this game.
See, I hate when you do this because you know I cannot predict the Redskins' loss. It's not in my blood. I can't. I can think it, but you know what? I say 27-23 Redskins. They shock the world.
Shock the world. You know what? It is becoming one of those feelings. It's becoming I'm starting to get one of those, and I don't know if it's the bad pizza I ate earlier or if it's a feeling of an upset, but I'm getting one of those feelings that this might be one of those trap games. And I predicted this as a victory before the season, but not necessarily in this way. But I did predict us to beat the Packers prior to the start of the season. But I'm gonna give my score prediction, or I right now I haven't set this in stone. My final one will be tomorrow, but I'll go with right now 31-16 Packers is what I'm feeling right now. 31-16 Packers.
Like I said, I can think that, but I cannot say that out loud because I can't go
It's
into.
fine, man.
If I thought they were going to lose, or I was convinced they were going to lose, I wouldn't watch the game. And you know, I have to watch the game.
Yep. Well, you know how the NFL loves to prove me wrong, so I have no problem predicting a Redskins loss because most of the time that's the time that they upset. They do something shockingly, right? Somebody else joked about it during the play-by-play. It's like every time I put expectations on this team, they let me down. Like, and it's true. Like, think about like, all right, we're going into the RG3 rookie year. I'm like, you know what? We need some time. I think RG3 is going to need some time. Well, there you go. 7 in a row. We win the 10-6. Oh, we've arrived now. We're going to figure this out. We're going to be so great in 2013. What did we go? Like 4-12, 3-13, or some horrible season. And you're like, what? And then we're going to suck and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, all right, and then a couple of years later, we get Kirk Cousins. And it's like, we're going to suck, blah, blah, blah. And then it's, oh, hey, we're 9-7. We won the division and we're in the playoffs. All right, next year, we're going to add some pieces and we're going to figure it out. And then the next season, we were like, what, 6-10 or something terrible. It's like, every time I try to put some expectation, and like this year, our defense is going to be elite. I said, our defense is going to be phenomenal. Like I put
Top
expectations on our defense, boom, we tank like it's no tomorrow. and it's so frustrating with watching the like every time I put expectations on this football team, the amount and the ways they find to tear my heart out are incredible. It's just unbelievable. But that's what being a fan's all about. So,
All about heartache.
yep, I'm gonna continue to root for this team. And as I always say, whenever I'm talking to you and Chris, I hope you all are right. I hope you guys are correct.
I know blame me. I know you blame me for being a Redskins fan. Do you recall that when you were very young? Because you were a St. Louis, you were a Rams fan.
8-7-1. Yeah, 8-7-1, and we lost to the freaking Giants the last week of the season, and we would have been in the playoffs, and we couldn't beat Kirk Cousins was pathetic. The entire team, Jay Gruden's led team, was pathetic. Yeah, I'm remembering it now. And why'd you guys remind me? We were in Niagara Falls, Selena and I, watching that game, and we were sitting there at a bar, and I'm just so frustrated watching that. Selena's like.
By the way, before we wrap up, I want to tell you a story. My whole traveling thing to Florida, that it was during the Giants game. I was actually we'd gotten into Georgia, and I was trying to watch the game, but the Buffalo Wild Wings there was ridiculous. They were like, can't have food, and so we ended up going to IHOP to get something to eat, and I had my phone and I was following the game. And so they had Hopkins line up for the kick, and they said, I'm looking at the game cast on ESPN, and it says field goal missed. What was there, like 8 seconds left or whatever, and I just threw my phone down. So I went to bed that night. I didn't get back online, so I went to bed that night thinking they lost. And the next night, I was talking to your uncle again, and I said, Hopkins has got to go. And he goes, why? He made the field goal. And I said, no, he missed the field goal. And he goes, yeah, there was a penalty, and he got to kick it again. I spent the whole next day thinking the Redskins lost because I was on the road. I was traveling. I was not following it. So anyway, we can wrap the night up with that. But it was funny because it was like, yeah, I spent the whole day thinking Hopkins has got to go.
Hopkins has got to go.
Was it like a 43-yarder or something? It wasn't that long. And
48, and then the second one was 43. The one he made was 43. Yep.
Okay, gotcha. But it was like 48-yard. To your point, it was almost 50, which gives you your feeling of like, oh my God, don't miss it.
For sure. No, that's a cool story. It's funny with how things happen. I think Jake said the same thing. Jake Anderson, the guy I work with, and but he had the sound on. I think he was actually watching it, so he had the sound on. But he said, he was watching it on his phone in bed, and when they missed the kick, he just threw his phone, and then he heard his phone like off to the side. Wait, there's a penalty, and he like scrambled to get his phone back. Wait, what? That's pretty cool. All right, well, there we go. Skins in the game. We're back. Episode number 31. I hope everybody enjoyed. We had like 25 viewers most of the time. That's awesome. Thank you all for being here. Luzza, Asan, Redskins Man 10. Big shout out to John McDowell for the super chat. Down South, VA, and NC. I don't know if I've seen you before, but thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. You commented it a lot. Frog Gang 202, Heavy Chevy. What's up? Who else? Red Wings 01. Dr. Pig was here. Thank you guys so much. Trolling. Spoiled, of course. You're always coming in here and taking some jabs at us. Gotta love it. Diehard Fan
we
was here.
We expect nothing left.
Stun of Plays. And thanks for everybody for being here. It was a lot of fun. Oh, Richard Motley, nice job. Great guys. So thank you so much for being Richard, I don't think you commented at all. So thank you just so much for enjoying the content and just watching and hanging out with us. Just
hanging in there for a whole hour.
Yeah, just because you don't comment, I technically can't see that you're here, so I can't give you a shout out. But still, even if you don't want to comment, thank you so much for just hanging out and watching with us. We'll be back tomorrow for the Chris and Tim podcast at 8. I'm actually scheduling 2 Packer fans for the channel this week because this is the first time that 2 fans of the opposite team responded I usually only get one that responds, and I'm like, okay, sounds good, we'll go with that. But 2 of them said they can do it, so I'm working on scheduling. One of them's set to go for Friday at 8, and then the other one may be Saturday morning. So we'll have 2 different Packers fans. So maybe we get opposite opinions. Maybe we'll get 2 different fan opinions. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe it'll be completely the same. I don't know. I don't know how this was going to go, but I figured, you know what? Why not take a chance and try it out? But sweet. All right. Anything last things to say there, Dad?
Nope. Just thanks everybody and go Skins.
Hail, baby. Hail. All right.
All right,
And
we'll see you next
until next time.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya!